Welcome to the Shut Up and Cut Nike commercial workshop, now available for free on YouTube. In this video, you are going to set up a Nike commercial project inside of your editing software. Let's do it. Today, we are going to set up the foundation for our edit. We are going to import the footage into our NLE, our non-linear editing software, and then we're gonna make our first sequence. So let's jump in. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our project folder. My project folder is located on my production drive called Nike Spec. We go in here, Nike Spec Add, and we're gonna open up the footage folder. Inside the footage folder, we're gonna click on Sony, and here is all of our footage. If you'd like to follow along, you can download the entire project file along with the assets we actually used in this project in the link in the description. That way you can follow along with the rest of the course episodes as well. We will be using this project and these assets for the rest of this course. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through every single file and we're gonna scrub through it, make sure there's nothing corrupt, there's no missing frames, make sure it's not unusable, make sure it opens correctly, make sure it plays all the way through. So let's go ahead and go through all of those and do that. Since I'm on Mac, I can just click it and hit spacebar, and it'll play. These first three files were just camera tests, so don't really worry about these. Everything from 004 to 050 is what we want to pay attention to. And all I'm gonna do is watch it for a little bit, go to the middle, watch it, go to the end, watch it. Everything looks good. Move to the next one. All right, so everything looks good on my end. So let's back out of this folder. Let's go to DJI and let's do the same thing with them. These are the aerial shots. Everything looks good here. Everything looks good there. Everything looks good there. Awesome. So all our footage is looking perfect. All right, so the next thing we want to do is open up our NLE, our non-linear editing software. In this case, it's Adobe Premiere Pro. All right, if you're new to Adobe Premiere Pro, you might have an empty screen. You won't see any projects here. These are recent projects that I've done, so don't worry if your screen's empty. All we're going to do is we're going to come up here to New Project, and the New Project window pops up. We're going to title our project. I'm going to title it Nike Spec Add, and then I'm going to put an underscore and put today's date. Next thing we're going to do is hit browse and navigate to our Premiere file that's in our project folder. So we're going to go to Nike Spec, go to Project Files, Premiere, and we're going to hit Choose. I personally never touch any of these settings in general, in Scratch Disk or Ingest settings. I leave everything as is and hit OK. Now, welcome to Jurassic Park. This is your Premiere interface. This is your timeline window. This is your program monitor, and this is your project window. This is a custom workspace I've created, so our workspaces may not look the same, but we want to look for our project window where it says Import Media to Start. If you don't see it and you can't find it, go up to Window, go up to Workspace, and select editing. And if you still don't see it, go back to window, go to workspace and hit reset to save layout. It should pop up in the top left or the bottom left. Once you find it, we're going to navigate to our project folder, go into footage, go into Sony, select one file, hit Command A, and then drag and drop all of those files into Premiere. Now what I want you to do is select them all by clicking one and hitting Command A, then dragging and dropping that to this little bin folder right here. This is going to create a brand new bin, and we're going to rename that footage. Now let's navigate back to our project folder, back out of our Sony one, and let's go into our DJI folder. Now let's select all of these clips and drag and drop those right into the footage folder in Premiere. So inside our footage folder, we have all of our Sony files and all of our DJI files. Now let's go back to our project folder. Let's navigate out of this and find our music and SFX folder. Select both of these by holding Command and dragging and dropping these into the import window in Premiere. Premiere is going to import everything inside of that folder. So if I go here into music, you'll see all of the songs that were in that folder. So if we go back inside music, you'll see all of the songs here and all of the songs here. So now we know that we don't need to select all of the files to import them into Premiere. We can just select the folder that they're all in. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to grab your footage folder, select it, and drag and drop it onto your timeline. You'll see that it drops all 45 minutes of the footage onto your timeline. And it looks like it dropped them in the wrong order. So we have T044 right here. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to find T043, awesome, right here, and T045. And I'm just going to zoom out. I'm going to hit A. I'm going to move this out, drag and drop T044 right here so it's in line with its brother and sister. T043, T043, 44, and 45. Cool, then I'm gonna come back to the beginning. I'm gonna hit this little space right here. I'm going to right click it and hit ripple delete. All right, so my little bars are pretty small. What I want to do is I want to make them a little bit bigger, so I'm going to double click in this area right here. If you hold shift and do it, it'll open everything up. All right, now that we have all 45 minutes of footage on the timeline, if you look back into your project window, you'll notice that Premiere has created a sequence icon. All I want you to do is click it and hit enter. We're gonna rename it. Rename this to sync, SYNC _ and put today's date. So now if you ever accidentally close out of your timeline and you can't find it, all you have to do is double click this icon and it'll reopen it back up. So the reason I date my sequences is because it allows me to know what changes were made and when they were made. When you're working with a team on a single project, this becomes very, very helpful. All right, before we move any further, let's hit Command or Control S to save our project, and let's set up the autosave feature. So let's go up to Premiere. Let's go to Preferences and let's go to Autosave. Make sure Automatically Save Projects is checked. And in the Automatically Save Every box, let's automatically save every 5 minutes. You can leave this box the way it is. What we're telling Premiere is that every 5 minutes, I want you to automatically save my project just in case I forget. This has saved my ass a bajillion times. Then come down here and hit OK. Okay, to operate within the timeline, we're going to use J and L. J rewinds and L fast forwards. If you double tap J or L, you will play back your footage twice or 3 times as fast. All right, so go ahead and bring your playhead to the very beginning of the timeline. And at the end of this video, you're going to watch all 45 minutes of this footage as if it were a movie. You are going to see all of the angles and see all of the fuck-ups that happened on set. It is your job as the editor to know every single shot, good or bad. This will not be the first time you watch the footage all the way through, but you will get to know this footage very well throughout the edit. If you guys have any questions or concerns about setting up your project inside of Premiere, please comment down below and let me know. See you in the next one.